have something.
Just did episode 2 with Jordon Ferber. Really, really great interview. We talked about a lot of really deep stuff. I think you guys are going to really like it. Check it out. Here's my old pal, Jordon Ferber. Cool, man. So you want to walk and talk, find a place to sit, whatever you want, man.
Yeah. I know. Probably don't want to be sitting right next to the fountain for the entire time.
Probably not. Yeah.
People, have to pee.
That's good. Yeah, let's walk, man. Let's walk. This is good, man. We're getting the the organic part out of the way. You know.
Yeah.
You're a guy that I've wanted to interview for a while. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
You were in my top 5 of people that I wanted to do this.
Well, I mean, if you had a dossier written up on me, obviously, nobody compiles a file on you without having some ulterior motive.
Right. Or it's funny. Robert Dean didn't want to do this, so it's funny the comics that refused.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of comics refused.
Well,
maybe it's me. I don't know.
You give them too much heads up on what you're going to talk about? I mean,
No, I mean, it's just kind of a spontaneous interview show. I don't know. We're walking through Washington Square Park. Probably go over here. It's a little quieter. We just throw out this coffee, so I got a freer hand here, you know. So here was Jordon Ferber, comedian I've known for many, many years. Very funny guy, interesting cat, interesting story. We're going to get into that a little bit later. What'd you do last night, man? Talk about it last night for a little bit.
Oh, well, I had shows last night.
Shows.
I hosted an 8 o'clock, did a spot on the 10 o'clock, and then hosted an 11:30 show at the Comedy Village.
You're one of these people that, that great Conan O'Brien line that he had on WTF about how God gives you characters in your life or whomever that just keep kind of showing up, you know?
Yeah.
You're like one of those people for me. You're
Okay.
like always kind of there. Like random times I'll see you. And when I don't expect it.
I mean, that's my favorite thing about New York, though, is like the randomness of it. You're just loose.
It's totally random.
Yeah, I feel like because we spend so much time walking around and bumping into people,
100%.
like you just, it's a small world, and it's smaller when you're from New York because you get out more.
Yeah, my old neighbor was like a real estate tycoon, and he always said it was it really is the biggest small town in America.
Yeah,
I kind of agree with that.
And also as a comic, you and someone who grew up in New York, I've got my, I don't know, I feel like I'm in a lot of different communities.
You totally are. Yes.
I have connections in a lot of different areas of New York City life. So
you're also from here. That's right. That's rare though. That's rare for the scene.
So yeah. So I mean, like I run into other comedians I know at like the airport.
Who's like the most random comic that keeps popping up for you? Is there one that jumps out? Something that you just run into like all the time randomly, or?
No, I mean, the funny thing about this business is that like things come in waves. So you spend a lot of time in one club or whatever, and you see like the same 20, 25 people all the time.
Right.
And so you go work at another club and you see somebody you haven't seen in 10 years because they're running in a different circle than you are.
That's right.
So, I feel like there's a lot of, I don't know if there's anybody that's like random that just pops up everywhere. I mean, I know there's a lot of comics that I see with frequency.
You have a best friend?
Yeah.
Who? A comedy best friend or just like general? Both.
I don't have my best friend is not a comic.
Okay.
I actually have 2 best friends really, but one of them lives in LA and I don't see him with frequent,
You started college there, right? If I remember correctly?
Yes.
That's right. I know a lot about you without having to make notes.
Well, good. So you studied the file that you made. That is good. You didn't just have ChatGPT compile the file and then you're going to be looking through your notes as we walk.
That's so funny. That's so funny. Actually, I have a segment on the show that I've been doing that we can do it now if you want.
I mean, you got to bone up on the homework.
That's right. That's right. The segment is. I
mean, it's funny to think that you did all this homework and I came unprepared. I don't know. I didn't.
Well, that's the idea.
I didn't. If there's a pop quiz, I hope I do well.
No, that's the idea. But you're a funny guy no matter what. I think you could be off the cuff, as they say.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is actually a good segment we can do now. I usually do it at the end, but we can do it now.
Sure.
It's called All the AI in the World and I Still Can't. And then it's something that's like still a pain in the ass in 2025. Anything jump out at you? I'll tell you mine, but
sure. Go ahead.
So I'm getting divorced, and it's a long, it's getting ugly, whatever. I'm trying to resolve it, but I have to, get my Zelle records for the last however many years. And so I go to Chase, and Zelle only stays in Chase's records for 1 year because it's a third party.
Right.
So I literally had them have to mail me in the mail, hard copy, 500 printouts of my Zelle history.
Oy.
Of that's the only way they can distribute it. And so it's like all the AI in the world, and I can't even get a Zelle history going back a year of payments.
Right.
You know, so that was my annoying one.
I mean, that's pretty low level, I think. You know,
Okay. I'm sorry that didn't do it for you.
I mean, you know, I don't know. I think that the thing about technology is that it was like promised to make everything easier, but it's made everything more complicated because you got the two-step authentication, and you know, you got to create like new strong passwords for every damn website.
Yes.
You can't log into any website without you know have it being joining.
Right.
Joining, being on their VIP, you know, their gold status list, whatever. It's all bullshit.
That's right.
I have a bit that I'm working on right now about how, you know,
do it.
I went to a restaurant, and there's one of those places where they take your phone number so they can text you when your table is ready.
Right.
But then after the meal, they text you again because they want you to write a review. And if you don't write a review, they keep texting you. And I'm like, listen, lady, the food was good, but I am seeing other restaurants.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
You know,
that's pretty good.
Didn't you notice I was only ordering side dishes?
Oh, hysterical.
I mean, you know, and at the end of the day, they don't really care about you. They just want your email address so they can keep harassing you and sending you stuff. And it's like, listen, I already have Benihana promising to buy me a cheap bottle of champagne on my birthday every year.
That's hysterical. That's right. You and I both love hibachi.
How many other restaurants am I going to let slide into my DMs like that? You know,
that's hysterical.
I don't have. You know.
That's so funny. Well, I'll tell you why.
And the funny thing is, as soon as I went to this restaurant, it was a dim sum restaurant in Seattle. That's apparently like a big chain and in California, in the West Coast.
Okay.
That like, I'd never heard of it before, but as soon as I went there, people were like, oh, have you been to this place? Or we went to this place, it's like Dai Tin Fung or something, I forget what it is. But
yeah.
Yeah.
I know that place.
Yeah, I never heard of it. I went to, you know, it was like.
Just opened here, I thought.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah.
I went to one in Seattle, and it's like, I hate all the corporate bullshit that comes along with everything. There's just like the.
Explain that though. Is that like in what sense though? Like.
Well, everything is just is all. Everything's third party now. You know, you got the. You know, I don't know. I just feel like there's the. Everything feels cold.
Yes.
You know, there's no humanity left in business. You know, in you know, any of these like hospitality industries where there's so little real connection in there. People
I romanticize the old business owner. You know, you go to a place, you knew the owner.
Right.
The owner made you feel special. He got you in. I mean, he or she, you know. Oh, it's like, all right, you know, we can go here. I know Jack. I know the owner. I know Steve. You know, whatever.
Exactly.
You know, but those days are kind of gone.
I know.
You know. And it's funny, I knew someone that grew
that's
up
my,
here.
You know, because that's a New York thing also. It's like, you know, I got a guy.
You
know, there's no more guys left.
There's no more guys left. It's so funny.
And I'm not even like, just not even, you know, the easy joke would be to make, you know, some sort of transgendered bit out of that. But,
oh wow, I wasn't even thinking about that.
But
that's funny, yeah.
but still, you know, there are very few like Johnny on the spots these days.
That's right.
And you know, business owners that step in to fix, to get their hands dirty.
It doesn't really exist anymore. Yeah, you're right. It's always owned by some faceless corporation or something.
You know, that's why I've been, working at Comedy Village. PJ, who owns it, he's right there. You know,
right.
He's
in the trenches.
Oh yeah, he is running that business mostly by himself, and he is, got a lot of people helping him, but he's there. He's the face of the place, and he's, very artist first.
Oh wow, that's great.
Takes care of all the comics there. It feels like a family there.
I'll tell you why. It
feels like a real comedy home and not just a place to work.
I'll tell you why I asked you to do this. Number one, you're a very funny guy, but also, you're probably the closest guy that I know of that I'm friendly with in the comedy world that I could see you in like 2025, or I could see you in like 1975. You know what I mean? You have you're a comedy old soul, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I could be mediocre in any era.
But you probably heard that before, though. I mean, no, I mean,
well, I don't know.
You have a little bit of like the old, like hanging at the deli, the car. Like, I could see you in like, have you seen Broadway Danny Rose?
Of course.
It's the greatest.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I could see you in the opening of that movie at the Carnegie Deli.
Excuse me, darling, can I interject one statement at this junction? And I don't mean to be facetious or didactic in any manner.
I love the one where it's like, stick with me and you'll be the greatest balloon folding act of all time. You know,
it's amazing what he does with the balloons.
And especially the longer, just real quick on that movie, the longer you do comedy, especially in New York, any comedian's birthday party you go to is literally out of that movie. You know, remember the end when they all have like the sad Thanksgiving dinner at the end? You know, it's literally like, oh my God, this guy did improv in 2010. This guy was a puppeteer. You know what I mean? You go to the party and it's just like, God, he nailed that fucking movie with. For me, that movie really resonates with me. I know. Maybe if you don't do comedy, doesn't quite hit his home, but
I think that's one of my, that's a favorite.
100%.
Yeah, and that, also the whole premise of the movie, of the comic sitting at a diner telling stories about him. Like, that's what we do.
That's what we do.
I think he nailed that part of it too. That's the part that's,
right.
Because it's like, the comics commiserating and telling stories about, oh, remember this guy? Oh, that guy. Those are the best.
Right, 100%. Currently sitting at Bleecker and Thompson right now. The other reason I invited you on this, where I think, is that I find that, as I, now have kids and stuff, you lead really, you and my other buddy Jeff that I had on here too, Jeff Cerulli, that I feel like you guys lead what many would consider the true classical comedian's life, in that you do what you want when you want, you stay up late, you do spots late, you don't have to really answer to many people,
Right, yeah,
and I romanticize that life, especially now because I can't live that life really.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are pros and cons to all of that. I mean, it's like, I have nothing else.
Right, right.
That's the whole thing, is that like, you do all that, you do what you want when you want, and that's great, but at the same time, at the end of the day, you go home to nothing.
Right, let's talk about that.
So,
but I think that's a very great point that you just made. So like, do you subscribe to that? Because you ever heard that old Leno thing about how like the backup plan is stupid? You ever heard that rant that he does, or no?
No.
Basically, Leno just says, like, if you really want to do comedy or anything in show business, you can't have a backup plan.
Oh, yeah, right.
Like,
yeah.
That basically, like, he uses the story of, he knew a guy that was in corporate America, and the guy started making some decent money, and then he's like, maybe I don't want to open mic until 4 a.m, on Monday,
Yeah.
Do you, so you,
I like your bag.
Oh, thank you.
I love your bag a lot, man.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you very much,
Appreciate
man.
it, yeah.
Thank you. So do you subscribe to that, or?
I got it on Amazon.
Sorry. Apologize.
Oh, good. Oh, good, man. Thank you. Do you subscribe to that, though, or?
Say it again?
Do you subscribe to that, like the plan B is like when you say,
Oh, yeah, so,
like, do you wish you had something else?
I mean, having something to fall back on, this business knocks you down so often that if you have any kind of a safety net or any kind of security, it's so easy to cling to that rather than take the kind of risks that you kind of need to take to get to those next levels in comedy.
Okay.
I think that but I think the great thing about comedy is that nobody knows anything. Really,
Nobody knows anything.
I mean, that's the whole great thing about show business. What's his name? William Goldman said, right? Nobody knows anything.
Oh wow, I didn't know that, but that's true.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like
And then you meet people that are allegedly in the know, and you realize this guy doesn't know.
I mean, and also, there's so much insecurity. Like, you don't get into comedy. Very few people get into comedy because they think they're the greatest thing in the world.
Right.
Most of us think we're pieces of shit a lot of times. It's hard to, the self-esteem part that. I don't know. It's such a weird.
It is. Do you believe that you have to be unhappy to be funny?
No.
Really? I was gonna say, oh, wow, I'm shocked by that. Explain that.
I think that, first of all, one of my favorite quotes of all time is the Rilke quote that was at the end of the Jojo Rabbit movie, and it was, "All feelings are." I say it's my favorite quote, and then I can't fucking remember it. But like, no feeling lasts forever. Let yourself feel everything, all the beauty and the unhappiness as well. You got to feel it all. And so, like, there is no up without down. And I think some of the best jokes are born out of unhappiness or out of frustration or trauma and come from a dark place. But I think that you don't have to live in that in that space, in that headspace. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, to deny that those things exist in all of us is to miss the point of whatever those things might, teach you. And I think also, as comics, like, we process a lot of that pain and a lot of the unhappiness through the jokes.
Right.
And so we're able to take the power away from whatever experience caused that,
Right.
I think sometimes you can go. It's easy to get a little caught up in like some of the realities of it, and just like end up, sitting in that headspace, in that feeling for too long. But I think that anybody can fall prey to that. I don't think that's something that's exclusive to comedians or performers or artists. I think everybody,
Right.
I think, but that's the whole thing. Like, there's that question: are comedians more miserable than other people? There's that documentary that Kevin Pollak made, "Misery Loves Comedy."
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And I really just think people think that, but it's only because we are the most open about it. We are the ones talking about it. That's where we talk about. Everybody has that shit. I don't think that we're just more open about it. I think we're more honest about what our process is.
Right.
That's our currency.
Right.
Is talking about that stuff. And so I don't necessarily think we're more miserable than anybody else. I just think we're better at processing our misery in ways that's accessible and putting it out there.
Do you want kids?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know if at this point I'll have any.
Okay. Oh, but you do want children.
I mean, I always thought I'd be a good dad.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Did you ever get close?
I mean, I've forgotten to pull out a few times.
Oh!
I did also date a girl who was so paranoid that that when she even thought that I might not have pulled out properly, that we had to take Plan B.
Really? Oh, she volunteered it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Because usually women say it makes them feel like nauseous and stuff. So.
Well, yeah, that happened as well.
Right.
But
that's amazing that she would volunteer that. Wow.
I mean, I had to go get it.
Right.
Speaking of, you don't want to have a Plan B.
Oh, it's funny. We're now walking to the Picasso statue here.
Yeah, my friend of mine grew up in one of these buildings.
It's so amazing, right? How you move to New York, it's like so overwhelming, and then it's like this is like you saw this when you were like a child.
It's like my backyard.
It's wild. What's the biggest difference, would you say, from when you were a kid to now, in terms of the city?
Well, there's definitely less community in the city. I feel like.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like people used to know their neighbors more.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well,
there's so much outside money from like other countries here now. I think more than ever before.
Yeah.
Like Caroline's, I was reading, was really like that building was owned by like the country of Dubai.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they like raised the rent like crazy. That's why they closed.
Right.
Maybe it was Pakistan, but you get what I'm saying. But like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of that though. Like, the Roosevelt Hotel is owned by the country of Pakistan.
Ah.
Plaza Hotel is owned by Qatar. There's a lot of outside money in the city, probably more than ever before.
Right.
Because I mean, it makes sense, right? If you live in an unstable place, maybe your government changes over every couple of years.
Right.
You want a place you can, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense to me,
You get that kind of money, and it's so hard to find a place to stay in New York.
100%, yeah.
You might as well get a
There you
hotel.
go. There you go. Some beagle in that dog? Beagle? Is there some beagle in that dog? Yeah, I grew up with a beagle. Yeah. Oh, this is great. This is perfect right here, yeah. This is perfect. Perfect, nice and quiet.
Hopefully the wind doesn't get.
I think it's okay with this, this little furry thing that we got on it,
Yeah.
You still got your thing on?
You still got it.
Oh, beautiful. Wow. Still got it, baby.
Still got it. Still got it.
Let me ask you another question. You and I have something in common. We both lost a loved one kind of unexpectedly in a car-related thing.
Yeah.
Did that change your belief on God? Like, do you believe in God? I've never. I don't know the answer to this question.
Yeah, I don't. I'm a bit of a agnostic, really.
Okay.
I don't believe in God in the way that like as a one figure person.
Okay.
As one being. I think I think there's a lot about existence that we don't understand. And I do believe that there is a higher power or force in the universe.
Okay.
I believe there is some cosmic thing, but I don't know what it is. I don't know that we're really supposed to. I kind of enjoy the ambiguity of it.
Okay. Oh, you enjoy the ambiguity.
I a little bit, because it's the things that are unknowable. I don't know. You can believe whatever you want about it.
Okay.
And I think that the parts that make me feel good, it costs me nothing to believe.
Right.
That's what I try to lean into.
Right. Okay. Did that change when you had your when you lost your brother?
So when Russell died, I feel like it changed everything in my life. But I think what really happened was that it kind of solidified a lot of those beliefs.
Oh wow!
I feel like
it didn't sway you in one way or the other.
I feel like everything just became crystal clear in those moments. Like, the thing, like the priorities became, like, the whole thing also, like, I totally dismiss the notion of there being any sort of grand plan. I always joke that, people say, oh, God has a plan. Like, fuck you. God scrapped his first 2 plans if you read the Bible.
Right.
His first 2 plans did not work out. He decided to kill everybody. And
I hate that too. That to me is kind of condescending.
And then they're like, they want to build a tower to come up and visit him. And he's like, oh no, I can't have people up here. Let's scatter them across the earth and make sure they can't communicate. That's, that's not a plan.
Right.
So, I find that, in a weird way, the randomness and the no rhyme or reason to the way that the world works sometimes is almost comforting.
Because you have no control over it.
Because, there's only so much you can control. And, there is, like, I hate those kind of things like, God never gives you more than you can handle, or, those kind of platitudes that try to, in some ways, I think a lot of those things that people say are, things that essentially diminish the importance of the grief process.
Huh.
It's like, your feelings of grief aren't valid because this is something that you should be able to handle, or I don't know. It's just bullshit. All that stuff.
Right.
I think that I think the other, interesting thing about faith and religion or whatever, or beliefs, is that, you don't really know how much you believe them until they're tested, until you
That's 100% true.
Until you have to believe them, until you want to believe them.
That's 100% true.
Like, what do you want to believe? And that's, I think, also a part of it. Like,
this is why I find comedians so fascinating, because you and I can have locker room talk, or we can talk about some deep shit like this. Comedians really run the gamut. That's pretty wild.
I was going through my comedy notes the other day. That I woke up in the middle of the night and I wrote something down, and I don't remember what the fuck it is. But like, I wrote it, I looked at it, I'm like, I say, magicians only exist because people believe in magic.
Okay.
Wizards only exist because people believe in wizardry.
Okay.
And I was trying to make some other grander point, but I didn't finish it. But it was like, really, I think that's the thing. People want to believe in magic.
Right.
People want to believe in that stuff.
Right.
Well,
that's like with con men. It's like con men work because they're taking you to something that you want to see.
Right.
Like you want to be better looking. You want to be richer. You want to be whatever that thing is.
Right.
They prey on that.
It's also one of the issues I have with mediums. And psychic.
Oh
mediums,
yeah, that's a great question.
Because
how do you feel about bullshit, right?
Well, I mean, listen, I know people who have been to mediums who swear by it, who say that there's that it's real.
What's so funny? Chelsea Handler swears by them, which shocked me only because she lost her brother tragically, like in a climbing accident or something.
I mean, so my issue with it is that it really changes when you really want to believe it. Wanting to believe it is such a powerful thing that not even a con man can influence you with.
Right.
All they do is provide the proof that that it's real.
Right.
But I feel like wanting to believe it makes such a big difference, and I have a hard time letting go of what I want to believe in those moments, and also I sometimes feel like the messages that people get from these mediums are just like, oh well, he says he's fine, he says they're happy, but
right.
They don't give you anything. I don't know. I'm.
Have you ever been to one?
I've been to a couple.
Really?
Yeah.
And what did you think?
I mean, I'm not.
By yourself?
I went with. I've done a couple with my parents, and I went to one like a group setting.
Okay.
You know, I'm not fully convinced, but I'm not fully convinced that it's a scam either. I don't know.
Oh, interesting. 'Cause you're such a no-nonsense guy to me.
I'm on the fence about it. It's complicated. I don't know. You know, I just, at the end of the day, I feel like I don't need to go to a medium because I don't feel like I need any kind of closure.
Okay.
Like I don't feel like there's nothing that I can imagine somebody telling me as a message from Russell that would make me feel better about him not being here.
Right.
Or, you know, or I just don't.
Wait, I'm just gonna spit back what you're saying. You're saying either it's BS or even if it's not BS, he's still not here. So it doesn't really fix your, you know, the bad thing is that he's not here.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's how I. Right.
You know, yeah,
So
exactly.
even if you got a message, maybe that's comforting in the moment, but you'd still rather have your brother here.
Right.
That's how I feel. So right now, I mean, I don't want to give you all my Michigas, but since my mother's death, my father and my uncle, her brother, have been bickering about something, and I want to be like schmucks. The important thing is that, like, you know, she's gone. Like that's the pain.
Yeah.
Everything else is just bullshit, you know. And it's like whether you get your way on something or not, like she ain't coming back.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like that's
no, but
the,
you know, the one of the first stages of grief is anger, and anger is the most easily accessible emotion, and it's a lot easier to point fingers at other people instead of starting
100%.
to like figure out, okay, why am I feeling this way, and how can I change things for myself for the better? But it's like grief is like the ultimate obstacle course that we put so many things in our own way,
right,
rather than dealing with the actual grief.
Did your brother see you do comedy? I don't remember.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
That's great.
Was my biggest fan.
That's great, man.
Came to a lot of shows.
That's great, man.
And the first show I did at Madison Square Garden, he came to that and he told me that the whole room hadn't laughed as one until I was on stage.
Oh my
He
God!
was like, you know, these other comics, they got pockets of people, but you got everybody.
What year was this?
This was 2002.
Okay. How many years in are you?
I started in 2001.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was the MSG show? What was that?
So I was part of a group. I got hooked up with this group called Comedy Gone Wild.
Okay.
Which ultimately became Beecher's Comedy Madhouse.
I know this name. Where do I know this name
from? The first show, like he did a bunch of shows at the Triad Theater on 72nd Street.
Of course.
And he kind of used those as auditions for other comics to be part of this troupe. And it was really like a pyramid scheme kind of thing in the beginning. Like it was like me and a bunch of other no-name comics. We would go out into the city and get email addresses from people to sign up for the thing to get free tickets. So we papered the room.
So you were a barker. You barked.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And we did all these shows at the Triad. Greg Wilson hosted them.
Greg Wilson
Yeah.
from he's not that into you or something, right? Wasn't that him? Greg Wilson. He was on. Yeah. He's like semi-famous. Greg Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was hosting the shows, and then he blew it up. He did 2 shows at the Garden, and then he started doing shows at the Supper Club. So the first show at the Garden was in June.
Like the actual Madison Square Garden.
It was
or the theater.
They converted the lobby area of the theater at Madison Square Garden into what they called the Comedy Garden. So it was like, you know, 10 top banquet tables.
At the PlayStation Theater.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, or whatever it was back then.
It was like 600 seats.
Yeah.
In that lobby area that they set up. It was like 600 seats. And
that wasn't your first time on stage.
No.
Okay, I was about to say.
But I'd been doing comedy for a couple of, almost 2 years.
Right.
And I was, I was doing a lot of bringers. I was doing some bar shows here and there. I was, not doing much, but I was, whatever. I felt like I was coming along, and I had some good. I had some, I had some okay jokes, I guess. And so the first show in the Garden, Greg Wilson hosted it. It was me and like 5 other no-name comics, and Chuck Nice was the headliner.
Chuck Nice.
Chuck Nice was the headliner. And then Russell died in July.
Wow.
I sold 25 tickets to the June show.
Yeah.
That I made $8 a ticket on.
Huh.
You buy them from the Garden for
the fact that you still remember that.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
The second show in August, I sold 125 tickets for.
Oh wow!
Because I was selling tickets at the Shiva.
Oh my God!
Like people were coming to the house. Is there anything I can do? And I was like, well, I got a big show coming up.
Oh my God! That's hysterical.
I mean, I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know what else.
Right. What else are you gonna do?
I didn't know what else to do.
What else are you gonna do?
Like, you know,
Oh my
everyone
God, that could be the funniest thing I've ever
everyone
heard.
I'd ever met in my life was coming through the house. Like, what
Right,
other opportunity am
right.
I going to get to promote at that level?
Right.
Like in retrospect, it's actually funnier than it was. It felt, you know, at the time I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was like, what am I doing? But it helped keep me connected to people and helped me keep staying, you know, talking to people, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, the second show, Greg Wilson hosted it again. It was Rich Aronovich, Jessica Kierson, Chuck Nice, I think Ben Bailey.
Ben Bailey, yeah.
And I think Ted Alexandro closed. I forget who closed it. It was supposed to be Paul Mercurio, but he got arrested that day.
For what?
He was on the Opie and Anthony show, and he was
for the big prank.
For the prank. The prank thing where they were having like couples having sex in public.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
He was with the couple that tried to have sex.
That's right. He was the one narrating.
He was narrating. They were at St. Patrick's Cathedral.
That's right. And
they got arrested because you can't have sex in St. Patrick's Cathedral.
Right.
You know.
I remember that. That guy O&A kicked off for like 2 years, I think.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. That was big. Jordan's lighting up a cig real quick.
Yeah, he got arrested that day.
Wow.
Paul.
That's wild, man.
And you know, my set on that second show was terrible. I think I didn't really do very. I felt like I was just.
You have it on video?
Yeah, but I don't have it.
Okay. Who has it?
The guys that were running the Comedy Gone Wild, but Jeff Beecher's partner. The two of them had a split right after that, and that guy absconded with all of the all the content.
Wow.
And nobody ever heard from him again.
Wow. We should make a documentary on finding that guy. And
I mean, he told me that he also had video of Russell from some trip out into the Hamptons, like from weeks, you know, from months earlier.
How did he have that? I don't understand. How did he have that?
Because he knew my brother.
Oh.
Some of those guys knew my brother. Because they were promoters.
Is that how you met him?
Sort of. I mean, I met Beecher at an open mic at Gladys's Comedy Room. Remember Gladys's?
Okay, yes.
In the back of Hamburger Harry's?
Yes. Wow.
Ironically, the original owner of Hamburger Harry's, was a client of my dad's.
That's hysterical.
So I knew they had the best curly fries, those string fries.
Where was that?
45th Street.
45th Street. Right. Gosh, taking me back.
They also had one down in the Battery Park, I think, at one point.
That's amazing. If you weren't doing comedy, what do you think you'd be doing?
Drugs? I don't know.
Like, do you have training in anything?
I wanted to be a filmmaker. I wanted to.
Okay.
I was a big Mel Brooks and Woody Allen fan. Like those were my,
start
doing comedy and then go into movies. But I went to film school originally. At Occidental.
Right.
When I went to go visit Occidental and I met with the head of the film department, we got along famously. We were like, talking movies, talking this. He had a great sense of humor.
Right.
And then when I got there, he had went on sabbatical, never came back, and the woman that he had took it over for him was his polar opposite.
Ugh.
We were like oil and water. She flunked me out of the thing, and I know. My thing was that I was no good at any of the tech. I needed a better DP. Like I wasn't good with the camera.
Right.
Like I could frame stuff perfectly, but I was never good with the lighting. And it was my freshman year. It was 1996. I was still editing 8mm film.
Wow.
By hand.
Wow.
I had to splice it by hand. And, I had to drive to fucking Burbank. I had to drive to Burbank to get the film and to get it developed. So it was like, and I didn't have a car. So it was a pain in the ass to do that every time. And so all my projects were late. As soon as I flunked out, they went to digital and none of my problems would have happened. So it's crazy. So crazy. But I probably would have done that, or I still like.
Favorite Woody Allen film? You have one? Broadway. We talked about Broadway Danny Rose.
Broadway Danny Rose. I really like Bananas.
Bananas. Yeah.
The opening sequence to Bananas is maybe one of my favorite openings to a movie ever.
Okay. When he narrates it with Howard Cosell.
Howard Cosell covering the assassination.
Cosell was allegedly an asshole.
It's all over for El Presidente. El Presidente, you've just been shot. How do you feel? I also love Sleeper. Sleeper's one of my favorites. So we had to see the nose. We heard it was running. So many great jokes. Just joke.
So many great jokes.
I mean, his early stuff. I did when I was in high school. when you're a senior in the theater program,
Right.
you get to do in the second semester, you do what they call the Theater 4 one-acts. So at the end of the year, there's a big showcase of one-act plays that we each directed.
All right.
Like, so I directed a Woody Allen play
Right.
called Death Knocks.
Okay.
It's a guy is...
A play.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it's very good.
Okay.
It's about a guy who's sitting up late at night and death comes in his window, but he like skins his knee. He's like, "Oh, my knees!"
Oh,
Like,
it's funny.
And then,
I love Woody.
And they play gin rummy to give him some extra time.
You think he's innocent?
I mean,
I do.
Nobody's
I do.
nobody's innocent. I don't think he's as guilty as Mia Farrow claims, but I think
Right.
there's definitely some fucking creepiness.
You think so?
I mean, come on.
Here's the only reason why I don't think so. With like Michael Jackson or with anyone else that like had those allegations, it permeated throughout their entire life, right?
I mean, listen.
He was a one-time thing, you know. Like
Look.
he's still with Sun Yi.
Listen.
He's still with Sun Yi.
You know, there's.
You see what I'm saying or no?
But like in the movie Manhattan, where he's dating a 17-year-old,
Right,
you know, like
right,
these
right.
are things that come up. You know, there's all like the perverse sexual stuff that was in Deconstructing Harry.
I love that. I love
You
that
know,
movie so
I
much.
do too. Like
yeah.
you know, that scene with
Baruch Hashem HaBlowjob.
Oh yeah,
Hysterical.
Julia
Hysterical.
Louis-Dreyfus, you know, with the blind father.
Yes.
Oh my
yes.
God.
Hilarious.
So funny.
Yes.
But yeah, so I was, you know, and it's interesting to me because that, you know, if you look at Woody Allen's body of work, he's made just about every type of movie.
Yes.
You know, he very genre.
That's right.
Difference. You know, but I do prefer a lot of his earlier, funnier stuff. I think his comedies.
I thought Bullets Over Broadway was genius.
Yeah, Bullets Over Broadway is great.
Absolutely genius.
But I also love, you know, Take the Money and Run.
Right.
I love, what's the one? I also like some
Purple
of the
Rose
stuff.
of Cairo.
There's like What's New Pussycat?
Okay.
Which he didn't direct,
He didn't
write or
direct
direct,
that.
but he's in that.
He's in that, yes.
And I love that with Peter Sellers.
Yes, yes.
And his first movie, I don't know if you've ever seen his first movie, that the Chinese kung fu movie that they dubbed.
No.
So,
What's that called?
What's Up, Tiger
Oh
Lily?
yes. Is that worth watching? I don't think I've seen that in years.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay. Okay.
It's dated, a little dated,
Dated, a little
but
dated.
it's great. And I love his stand-up. His stand-up stuff.
Oh, his stand-up was great.
I'd like to share with you a recent experience I had with a very effective form of oral contraception.
Ah.
I asked the girl to go to bed with me. She said no.
Oh, that's funny. I read his book. I read the Apropos of Nothing.
Yeah, I read that one too, and it just felt like the first half of it was great, and then it became like his legal defense.
Yeah.
So I gave up on that halfway through. You know,
Okay.
after that, I like his earlier prose. Like his, you know, that's where I found that the Death Knocks. He's got some great short stories and prose and things like.
Oh,
you know,
yeah, he's the best.
You
Yeah,
know,
he's a
some of that
Woody
stuff.
guy.
Some of that stuff is great. You know,
Back to the Future 2 or 3?
3.
Really? You think 3?
Yeah.
That's wild. Nobody says 3.
Well, because 2 is so cheesy, and 2 has all of the plot holes, like the big giant plot holes.
Explain.
So, first of all, my first problem is that Michael J. Fox should not run into his future self in the future because he's been missing since 1985.
Okay. Right. Okay. I didn't think about that.
That's
All right.
number one. Old Biff should not come back to his same shitty future after he goes back to 1955.
Okay. Okay.
He should be going to the 1985 where he's also been missing since 19. You know.
Okay.
You know, it's a weird thing.
That is a plot hole. Okay.
I like the callbacks that they do in the third one too. I think they just wrap that. It just neatly ties everything up in a bow.
Okay.
That third one,
Okay.
you know, and I feel like, you know, the romance between Doc and what's her name is really cute, you know, really adorable, and you know, that's why you got to have the pads.
Don't look like it hurt.
You know, the second one's fun, but it's the cheesiest one of the bunch.
Right.
You know, and none of the future stuff came true.
The hoverboards. Hoverboards.
You know, I have a joke. I have a hoverboard joke I do.
Right.
Which is that at this point, I hope they never come out with them because they keep teasing them every few years. They're going to come out with these hoverboards. But I'm like, I'm too old to ride one now.
Right.
And I'm going to see some punk come around the corner on a hoverboard. It's like, you don't even know what that's from.
Right. That's funny. That's funny.
You know.
Do you ever have a time in your life where you're like, I'm going to make it? You ever have a time when you were like, it's all happening, you felt like...
No.
You know what I mean?
I don't think so. Have I ever felt like
You can't remember a time like that, really?
Yeah, no. Even in some of my greatest moments, things were falling apart.
Okay.
You know, I was at the.
But you're like a happy guy, though. No, I mean you don't strike me as depressed.
I try to focus on the upbeat stuff.
Okay.
I know. I do my best to focus on the positives.
Okay.
And I, you know.
I'm not just saying
Yeah,
this.
no.
You know, yeah.
I'm also like, you know, I'm a momentum guy. So, you know, you have to start somewhere.
Right.
You know, it's the whole thing. Like a body at rest stays at rest.
Right.
So like the
Inertia.
Inertia is a big. You know, so I feel like just starting to, like, talking to people, being out and about.
I'm a big believer in that.
Being active and, you know, having my mind be active.
I'm a big believer in doing something. Just do something.
You know, because like I say, you know, happiness, depression is the ocean. Happiness is a dinghy.
Ooh.
You know, the way they talk about depression and sadness, like it's bottomless, it's
and
it's limitless. Happiness is finite. It's it's quantifiable. It's tangible. Sometimes.
You're a pretty deep guy, man. That's pretty deep.
So
I like that.
I said that once, and a friend of mine said, well, you know, you can also say that, but also sometimes the water is only as deep as you want it to be, and you can stand up whenever you want.
That's a good point,
and
too.
I was like, okay,
I like that. Yeah.
But the thing is, I also feel like sometimes a lot of this emotional stuff, I feel like it's stuff that you can understand on an intellectual level, but it's very hard to enact on an emotional level.
That's right.
And so I'm a firm believer that the attempt is as important as the results.
Oh, okay. The fact that you're trying.
Yeah. It's like that sports analogy that they use, that, like, you know, failure is just information on how you can be better the next time.
Right.
And I think I try to apply that to a lot of other parts of my life. And I think that, you know, we all get bogged down. I don't, you know, like I said, there is no up without down. So I try to lean into the sadness when I have it. I kind of isolate when that happens, probably. I have a handful of people from my grief community that I reach out to when I really need to talk to somebody about that stuff.
Okay.
But for the most part, when I'm down, I try to reach out to people to do something. Let's go to a movie. Let's go get a drink. Let's just talk about, you know, some movies, whatever. I don't know.
You can always hit me up. You know that, right?
Getting out of my own way that's how I kind of find ways to get out of my own way. Is to connect with other people.
Do you have a 5-year plan? Like, are you a guy that thinks 5 years out, 10 years out?
I can't plan past Thursday. I have a hard time.
That's how I am too.
Yeah, I'm like I sometimes I have like things on the horizon of my calendar or whatever, but I often don't. I have a hard time planning too far in advance.
I'm the same way.
And that's also something that I think probably became more solidied after Russell died. Also, is that, like, you know, what's the point of planning 5 years ahead when you don't know what's going to fucking happen tomorrow?
Right. Well, I told you, I read Sam Kinison's biography, which his brother wrote, which I highly recommend.
Yeah, Brother Sam, I read it.
You read it, and
I also read the Farley documentary book that his brother wrote.
Oh, is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the best line from that book that I still remember to this day, which I'm sure you remember, is, you know, people thought of Sam as this calculated evil genius. It's like, let me tell you, I was there. He planned nothing in advance. I kind of think that with other people too that are now famous, that are just, you know, you have a rep as being this calculated guy, and I'm like, I'm not so sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I think in any business, you know, if you want to be successful, you have to have, you got to put in the work.
Right.
But there's a fair amount of right time, right place, you know, and luck involved with, you know, meeting 100%. The right people and having the right team around you and having, you know.
I have a whole thing about this. Don't get me started on this. Like, about how it was just easier 30 years ago and back. I just think, like.
I mean, listen.
Like Howard Stern. So you know Don Buchwald, that was Stern's like manager for like many years, his agent, and he died like about a year ago, and Stern was eulogizing him, and Stern, the only part of Stern's show that's listenable now is the eulogy. Like, I love the eulogies; they're really good. And he was talking about how a part of Don Buchwald's genius was, in 1980, he knew a guy in real estate that said, "Hey, there's this dilapidated commercial building on 48th and 5th that nobody wants. I'll sell it to you at like a crazy price." And it's like, so he owns that where Buchwald is now. They own that building, and it's like, who is coming to you in 2025 saying, "Oh, I'll get you a great deal on a commercial building in Manhattan"? It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. Is my point.
Right.
You know, so. Yeah.
I mean, listen. I just think, you know, everything's changed so much that, you know, all these markets. You know, the sad thing is that everything is about money.
Yes.
You know, there's not a lot of.
But has it always been that way?
I mean, I just think, you know, you look at, like, you know, the creation of art is diametrically opposed to the selling of art.
Yes.
And
well, when art and commerce meet, it's never good.
Well, it's weird too, because especially I think the artist's mind is not a businessman's mind.
No.
And vice versa. I think that, you know, it's so I think that a lot of people are getting into some of these fields simply for the, you know, I say this a lot, like everybody wants to be famous, but nobody cares what for anymore.
Oh, I like that.
And
I like that a lot.
And so you know, you talk to people that, you know, that are famous, or whatever, and they either don't want it or don't know what to do with it.
Right. Is fame something that motivates you?
No.
I don't think so either.
I
yeah.
think, you know, being able to make a living doing what I love is the definition of making it. In my opinion.
That's
you know,
right.
That's really what it, you know. So, and that's always the struggle of an artist, of a comic, of a.
You could have one milestone before it's over. What would it be? Like a special? What would it be?
Yeah, special would be good.
On HBO, like an HBO special.
Yeah.
Okay. That's like if you had to pick one.
Yeah, that was my. I mean, that would be the big. That would be a pretty good goal.
That'd be great, man. Have you enjoyed yourself so far? Is this enjoyable?
Yeah, this is enjoyable.
Okay, good. I'm worried that you're not having a good time. So.
Okay. It's a beautiful day out.
Beautiful day out. Yeah, we're doing some good people watching.
Yep.
We had a homeless guy admire your bag.
Right. I don't think he was homeless.
You don't think he was homeless?
No.
Okay.
He was too well dressed to be homeless. If that guy was homeless, he became homeless yesterday.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I think, like, you know, just my luck, you know. All right, well, guess we're gonna wrap up here. You good on time?
I got all the time in the world.
All right, man. You want to get like a drink or something?
Yes,
or okay.
Sure.
All right, cool, man.
Questions, no awkward moments, right? Okay. Damn pod. You think I have something?